Welcome back to another episode of the Hellcat Rebuild, and do I have a surprise for you guys today? But before I tell you what that surprise is, smash the subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, comment below, and also, if you guys are not following me on Instagram, I post a lot of stuff on Instagram before it hits YouTube. Link is right here. Head over there, check it out. Also, if you're not on my Patreon, link is in the description. I have merch, link is in the description, hats, shirts, pop sockets for the Hellcat, my RX-7. Go check it out. There might be something you like, but let's check out this surprise, and hopefully you guys are as excited as I am. Since the car was so damaged in the accident, I really didn't have a way to line anything up. So the surprise is kind of, well, here's a part of the surprise, but it's behind this door. So let's check out what I got today. So there she is. I got another Challenger. This is a 2016 RT, but it's not any RT. I could have got a V6, but I ended up going for a V8. And it's not just a 5.7. If, you know, I wanted to get a 5.7 and spend about the same amount of money at the auction, I would have, but I opted for the 6.4. So this is the SRT 2016, makes 500 horsepower or close to it. And it's a, you know, a little bit better. I'm going to use this probably in another swap. But the plan is to use the car to line the other car up, all the new frame components that I ordered. I'm also going to use a few parts off of this since I'm not actually going to fix the car. It's kind of disappointing. It has a clean title for some reason, but you come around the back and it is pretty much done. So the wheel didn't hit anything. It just hit it so hard that the subframe is bent underneath in the back. Pretty much the same thing that happened on mine in the front. And now that is the, you know, the result, I'm not going to fix it. The trunk has a lot of damage. The whole floor is pretty much buckled under here, and you can see it right there. So I was thinking about fixing this after I got it. Well, after I found out that it had a clean title, but you know, I opted to just use parts. I'm probably going to use a swap in something else. And pretty much any of the body panels are up for grabs. If anybody needs fenders, doors, hood, front bumper, I'm not going to be able to use that. The wing on the trunk's good. A lot of the electronics I'm going to keep and use, like the rear backup camera. I kind of want to use this in another car as a swap, so I'm not exactly sure, but you know, I've been throwing ideas around. They're, you know, like an old Dodge panel van or something like that. Maybe a Charger, Challenger, something cool like that. So I'm not exactly sure, but I'll use a lot of the drivetrain, engine and tranny and electronics for that swap. But this is really nice because it helps me with this car line everything up. Some of you may be wondering how I'm going to remove all the damaged components. There is a simple way. You could just use a drill bit, but that does damage more stuff than you want to. Some of the stuff up here I really don't care about, but what I do first is use a center punch and then a drill bit, and I drill a nice center. Then I'll put a link in the description, but this is a spot weld cutter kit, and all it does have a drill bit on it, but usually the drill bits on these things are pretty much worthless. They're really just for centering the bit. It has a cutter head, and all it does is you push it down, and when the drill is on, it just uses those teeth to cut the spot weld out. Using this is better than using a drill bit all the way through, especially on material like this where I don't want to damage the metal behind the piece that I'm taking off. You can see that I got the spot welds drilled out. I was going to do all the way forward, but since I'm going to take the strut tower out of this side, I really don't need to remove them past here. But you can see right there how the spot weld drill bit actually makes like a hole, but it doesn't make a hole all the way through. And you can see that right there. And when I pull this back in a second, you'll see it. I actually did pretty well with the drill bit. The only issue with that is you can see these little holes. It kind of punches through. And sometimes, if you're not too careful, it will go all the way through and it'll grab, kind of twist the metal. If you're trying to save something, spot weld drill bit is the best option. Now you can see the inner structure, and you can see that the spot weld drill bit did leave a nice desirable finish. All I have to do is hit it with the, you know, grinder with some 80 grit. It will be good to go. What I need to do now, so this inner structure, this inner rail right here needs to come out as well. and I'm pretty much leaving, you know, everything firewall back all intact. One thing I couldn't tell, but you can really see it now. It didn't look bad, but you can see around the spot welds right here how it got pulled, and this inner structure is, you know, it does have some buckling even this far back.
Done tonight. It's a mystery that we never took a chance before. I'm looking at you and you're looking at me, and all of a sudden it rains over me. All we ever wanted was crossing our ways tonight. Have in mind it will only last for a while. I'm calling on you and you echo me back. We're coming to terms that it's all we can do. Oh, 'cause all we ever wanted was changing our lives tonight. I found you in the mist, got poisoned by your kiss. Poisoned by your kiss, only lasting for a while. Now standing here by myself, oh, want it all to come out, want it all.
Drilled all the spot welds out of the bottom of the strut tower, and if you don't know how a spot weld cutter works, it pretty much just drills around the spot weld or cuts around the spot weld. You center punch it with a punch, and then you try to get it as close in the center of the spot weld as possible, and it just releases the metal. It leaves a nice hole if you want to MIG it later or save it. Most of the time when I do that, if I'm going to save the piece, I do it from the opposite side, so I could just grind down the top of the spot weld it leaves. And you can see right here, I did sawzall this off right here. This is the driver's side strut tower. The reason I did that, and I am removing this, is because it got pulled in from the accident. And what's going on here, this is the outer structure, this is the inner structure, and then this is the piece of the strut tower right there. So there's 3 layers, and I drilled through the strut tower layer. And what it does is it pretty much just cuts around it. You can see the little head from where the drill bit stays, and it cuts around, but the spot weld cutter just pretty much goes in and it just cuts. And now that it cut it, the metal is released and it's just ready to come off. So you can see right there, it isn't attached anymore, and it's ready to go.
I can feel your heart pound beating like a kick drum. Love it when I'm this drunk. Ooh, yeah, I could find fire burning for you all night. Love it when I'm this high. Ooh, yeah, like a boom boom bomb, it rocks my
I was standing outside waiting for you. You were always taking time, baby, playing it through. I was calling out your name, with my eyes on the wall. You were running like a ghost from me. You were running from it all. You got me waiting, I'm on fire. You got me waiting, my desire. Keep on moving to the purpose now, to the ending of the ocean. Keep on moving to the purpose now, to the ending of the ocean. You've been playing my mind lately, turn it around. Once I thought you were mine, baby, we're safe and sound. You got me waiting, I'm on fire. You got me waiting, my desire. I follow your heartbeat. Keep on moving to the purpose now, to the ending of the ocean. Keep on moving to the purpose now, to the ending. I follow your heartbeat away, away, away. I follow your heartbeat away.
Just got the dash out, and man, was it a bear. If you're gonna pull a dash in one of the newer Challengers, I don't know if it's the same as the older ones, but you'll probably need two people to lift it out. I was just, angry enough that I lifted it out by myself. It comes out as a whole assembly. I thought you could probably pull the dash pad by itself, but like the older Mitsubishis and Dodges, they bolt all the HVAC stuff to the back of the dash, which you can't get to pop over the the airbag module and all that stuff. So you have to pull everything as an assembly, and there's a bunch of sharp edges, really expensive seats, and I mean, literally if I would have set it down, it probably would have cut one of the seats. So I just got mad enough to lift it out by my damn self. So if you're gonna do one of these and pull the dash and have to pull the dash, you have to pull the whole thing as an assembly, and it probably weighs at least 100 pounds. It's definitely heavy. It might be a little bit more. It has all kinds of stuff on it, airbags. It has the airbag and all the ducting and stuff on it. Plus it's like fake leather and plastic, and it has some weight there. So if you're not up to it, have a friend help you lift it out, just so you don't damage your seats. Luckily enough, I didn't damage mine. I was getting pretty sketched out and everything, because it was like right here, and if I would have sat down, it would have definitely got that right there, and I would have been mad. So this is what it looks like with nothing in it, and the reason I pulled the dash was I had to replace it anyway, and the other reason I pulled the dash was to see how this rail goes inside. One thing I did notice on these things is so you can see some foam right there, and they usually put foam just to keep wind noise and everything out. I think they did it for strength. So the this whole rocker is filled with foam, with expanding foam. So it probably just gives it a little bit more rigidity and all that stuff. So I guess that's probably why when you see these things hit in the side, it's just like destroys like the quarter panels and everything, just because it's so solid, because all the expanding foam is just like solid in there. So I'm gonna get to finally pulling the brake booster. This was probably the easiest way to go about it. It only has 413s, but with the dash out and having to remove the dash in the first place, it makes access to all of this stuff very, very easy. And another reason is I have to pull the carpet back because I'm going to be spot welding on the floor, and I don't want to catch the carpet on fire or damage the carpet. The HVAC is completely out. All that's really left in here is some pedals and the insulation or sound deadening on the firewall, which I'll take off. A good thing I found was this section of the firewall right here has a lip. All I'll have to do is drill the spot welds out, pull this whole frame rail right here out, and be able to replace the whole inner rail. I'm gonna end this video here. In the next video, I could pull everything up to the firewall and get it ready for all the new parts that I ordered. I did order a lot of new stuff, a lot of new sheet metal. I also got that parts car, and I was gonna use a lot of stuff off of it. I'll probably just use some stuff off of it, maybe end up fixing it. I'm not exactly sure. I kind of want to swap the 6.4 into like a panel van or something. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that stuff yet. I may end up selling it. If you like the videos, give this video a thumbs up, comment below, subscribe if you're not subscribed. Also, check out my Instagram because I post a lot of this stuff before I post it on YouTube, especially this build. I've been posting stuff for probably a couple months just because we were doing the super giveaway, and hope you guys like the video and see you in the next episode.